video cut out there for a second. Sorry about that. All right. So anyhow, yeah, it's actually rust-wise not an issue, and that was a big bonus. So again, if you're familiar with the DSMs, the Diamond Star Motors, the Chrysler Mitsubishi kind of partnership, you would know that they had some notorious little gremlins that the cars were likely to experience. Let's see, the door handles. So neither of the door handles work. They're just flaps. And so I've got door handles. Those should be here tomorrow. You take off the interior of the door, and you know, the door handle is not too bad of a fix by what I've seen. I've never had to fix it myself because I was lucky enough to get cars that the door handles did not break. But apparently it's a common enough problem, and it doesn't seem like it's that bad of a fix. So now we're peeking at the interior a little bit. We talked about the speaker covers. This is the passenger seat. Obviously it's got a big rip there. You can imagine what the driver's seat looks like if the passenger seat is already busted up. That one is rough. I'm not going to take the cover off because I don't really want to see how bad it is under there. I've seen it once. I don't want to see it again. Little things. This window goes down very slowly. You don't want to have to replace this glass because just that glass alone I think is over $100. That one does not go down. I'm not sure if it's the roller, I'm not sure if it's the regulator, if it's the motor, or if it's the switch on the door. I have to do some troubleshooting, but that one does not go down. Not the end of the world, but it definitely looks a lot cooler if you put those down. I said, you know, in the meantime, I'm probably going to leave them both up so it doesn't look, at least doesn't look uneven. You know, interior, missing a switch there. The door does open from the inside, which is nice. So I've got this string, because if I've got the top up and the windows up, then it's impossible to open the doors from the outside because both handles are like that. So I sometimes will loop a string around here so that I can pull the string from outside the car to open it up, but really I've just been keeping it in the garage. So seems like a better choice considering all the little things. So, you know, little things like that. Let's see, we've got our instrument panel over here. It says there's a fog light switch, but there are no actual fog lights in the car, so those must have been deleted or removed or whatever. That could probably be in better shape. Interior otherwise is, you know, it's reasonable for a 24-year-old car. They've changed the stereo out, as was common. This is how you turn the stereo on. It's a little off. You flick that on, and the stereo does work. It even came with a free CD. I have, now that's what we call Music 72, so thank you to the previous seller for that. It looks like they've added different gauges in. So this carbon fiber part right here does not appear to be stock. I don't know if all the gauges work. We've got a boost gauge, oil pressure gauge, and then we've got the normal gauges. I don't know how many of these gauges do work. I don't know if the fuel gauge works because I put some gas in it and it still reads pretty much right at the bottom. But then again, I only put like 1.5 gallons in, so it might just really actually be that low. I'm not sure if I trust all these gauges, but we'll see. It says 105,000 miles. If that is true, that is really not bad for, again, this car this year. Mirrors work slowly. Windows work slowly. Again, that was a known issue with the Eclipses and the Talons, is these windows will either go off track or they won't want to roll up, or you got to guide them by hand. And again, in this car, not a huge concern. Parking brake works. That's a bonus because I wasn't expecting it to. You know, we got our little cubbies here. This is gross and kind of broken. So this is the cup holder. I don't really want to dig around in there too much. That's gross. Back when we had ashtrays in cars, they've replaced the shifter knob. It shifts. It seems to go into all the gears just fine. I haven't driven it much because it's got a bad head gasket, which we'll talk about in a second, but it does seem to go into gear and shift and drive. Not that we want to drive it much. Obviously the carpets, the floors, pretty rough, pretty dirty. Yeah, cleanable. That is locked, cannot open it. Key doesn't seem to work. I've jiggled it. I've tried putting it in a little further, out a little further. Glove compartment does not open. We'll see if I want to drill it out, if I want to just ignore it. Have not decided. Again, kind of low priority. Everything else, pretty standard. Again, it's nice seeing these that aren't all rusted out because they would in a lot of other cars, you know, in this region. Plastic looks like kind of weathered. Lost a, well, it just scrapes right off there, doesn't it? You scrape that and it just comes right off. So maybe I'll paint these. Missing some little pieces of plastic. But you know, the seats function. They go forward, they go backwards. What else do you need? All right, let's take a look under the hood.